Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today it's kind of a different setting. I'm in Tokyo Station and not walking yet. This is Aman, entrepreneur based in Tokyo in Japan, and right now I am waiting for people to arrive for a walking group that I actually organize in Tokyo. Anyway, so today's video is about entrepreneurs who, let's say, respect investors a bit too much, and in fact respect entrepreneurs, like respect VCs more than they respect themselves, right? That's the real problem that I see often. And the way it manifests is that a lot of first-time founders, especially when they see a VC or somebody who works as a VC, they tend to think of them as the boss. Like, oh, I have to suck up to this VC to get money out of them. They're the people with money. They are much more successful than I am. They have the power. I am below them. They are higher than me, whatever. So you tend to have these false beliefs, and it's not just costing you in terms of your confidence, but it also costs you in terms of your actual how your company raises money, the terms you raise money on, and other things, right? It has a huge material impact on the fate of your business. So that's why I'm talking about this. So before I let me first debunk your beliefs about what a VC really is. First of all, a VC is a guy who typically, not always, but typically worked in finance or some kind of corporate job, basically, and decided that they have a knack for raising money, right? They have a knack for fundraising. They have some connections that allows them to go out and basically ask these LPs to give them a few $1 million and become a VC, basically, sort of fund. So they're basically in the private equity type finance business. VCs are not typically former founders. Most of them have never started a company. A lot of them have never built a company. They've never built a business. The only real skill you need as a VC, right? You need two skills. Two skills you have to be great at to be a VC. Number one, you have to be great at personal branding, right? VCs are really good at personal branding. You'll see that they carry themselves a little differently. They have this confidence. They have this this presence that, oh, I'm a VC, and they go up. A lot of it comes to them, but they tend to go out and do panel talks. They'll go to events and pretend to be somewhat of a hotshot. Not pretend, but just have this cool air, and there'll be people reaching out to them. As soon as you ask them what they do, they'll be like, I'm a VC, right? And just assume that that they're a big shot, basically, because they said that, right? And they're invited to speak on stage about what's going on in the industry and advice for entrepreneurs and this and that, right? The truth is that they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they don't know much in general, right? It's not that they're not, you shouldn't respect them at all. You should respect every single person that you meet. So that's not what I mean here. But you should understand that that's the first skill set that a VC has, right? Personal branding. The other skill set is, of course, raising big money. They understand the finance game really well. They are really good, usually, at raising a big round of funding from the right people. And that's something that I think all founders can learn as well, because the skill set of raising money is not very different compared to whether you are an entrepreneur or whether you're a VC trying to raise a fund, or a private equity fund owner, right? Basically, but they don't know how to build a company, right? And they don't know anything about technology for the most part. They don't know what technology is going to take off, what's not going to take off. Most of them are like lemmings, like they just follow the trend. And that's true for a lot of entrepreneurs as well, in a way you could say that, who are not real entrepreneurs. They don't have their own original ideas. They can't see the future themselves. They're more like, they latch onto trends. You have to understand trends as an entrepreneur, but you don't have to you have to have an original idea of what you're doing and some conviction of what's going to happen in the future, right? That's why you start a company. A real company, I mean. So, and VCs don't really understand or know anything about how the world's going to look like. They have to, but the key is that they have to pretend to know. They have to pretend to have advice. They have to pretend to have something smart to say when they show up to a stage and they have to speak. They have to sit down on a panel or something, right? And that's kind of sad. I feel for them. It's part of their job and they have to pretend a lot. But I just want to, if you're an entrepreneur, here's what I do myself, and here's what I know most real founders do, which is, number one, when you're talking to a VC, they should respect your time, right? They should respect your time, and you should know that you are, at minimum, you are equal to them in stature, right? Usually you're above them in stature. You know much more than they do about your industry. You know much more than they do about just a lot of things, right? So, and also, just not just from a knowledge hierarchy, you also have a higher moral ground, because as an entrepreneur, you are doing great things in the world. Like, VCs are dime a dozen. The money is still green no matter which VCs come from, right? No two VCs are supposedly better than the other. They can be worse VCs than each other, but they're not necessarily better than each other as such. A lot of VCs will not really support you in your bad times. But as a founder, you are literally doing something new in this world that doesn't exist, or that, you're trying to change the world in a material way, right? So don't think of yourself as below a VC. Another thing, never ask a VC for advice. This might be controversial because a lot of people think that they have advice to give, and a lot of VCs will try to tell you how to build a company, your own company. But and I've seen this mistake a lot. If you're asking a VC for advice on your idea, it basically means you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You have no idea, and you can't be relied on to build a great company which is going to give him a 100x or 200x return, right? Which is what a VC is looking for. A VC is counting on 1 or 2 100x returns, which will pay for the whole fund, right? If you don't communicate in every single interaction that you are a 100-bagger type of guy, if you're asking him for advice, he knows you're not a 100-bagger, right? A 100-bagger will never ask a VC for advice on how to build a company. They already have a vision, they already have a conviction in what they want to do, and they don't need, they need advice, but not from VCs, right? But that's the last person that they would ask for advice. And that should be the power dynamic between you and the VCs, where you're like, hey, I'm doing something amazing in this world. You need a 100-bagger. You need a 100-bagger more than I need your money. I could go to anybody, any VC, and get their money, right? You need a 100-bagger. I'm a 100-bagger. So you need more than I need you. All I need to do is show up, talk to you. If you're interested, okay. Not interested, go fuck yourself, right? good luck with your fund, right? You should be the person saying to a VC, good luck with their fund and good luck with whatever, right? You don't need a VC to tell you good luck. Oh, we're not gonna invest in you, but good luck, right? Like, if that is what's happening, then you've kind of like, I mean, they will say it, of course, but like, if they feel like in a position to pity you at the end of the conversation and telling you good luck, I hope you succeed, whatever, then that means the whole conversation was a failure, right? You should be telling them, I mean, not in a cocky, arrogant way, but like you should generally be like, that person's struggling. That person hasn't found a single 100-bagger this year, probably, right? Especially if it's some junior type of VC or somebody who just became partner or whatever, right? They have a lot more to prove than you do. They have a much bigger chip on their shoulder than you do. So, and I mean, if you're a real founder, you probably are agreeing with what I'm saying, but if you have any additional thoughts to share on this topic, do leave a comment. And it's about time for the walk to happen, so I'll go and meet the folks. But yeah, if you're ever in Tokyo, look up Tokyo Founder Walks on Meetup or Luma, whatever. And it happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. So see you there. Bye.